Welcome back to Real Degen Hours. I'm Ash.
I'm Foxy.
We are still in Cloud Runner Fortress. We are doing things. We are getting through the dungeon. Last episode, we were in the middle of talking about Marvel movies, why we don't like them, the protagonist archetypes.
Yeah, you were going off on certain reasons why this game is still around.
Yeah, and why I think that it's still relevant. Why you still hear people talking about it, even if it's in a derogatory fashion, because in some fashion
it's still being looked at in some fashion.
Because I think that there is some element of it that does resonate and does make sense, and people are upset that it kind of does make sense in a way. That it doesn't feel as alien as on the surface it would seem.
Mm-hmm.
But you were talking about Andor and your family not being all that into it.
Right. Let me gather my thoughts again. Give me a second. Yeah, so I visited them last month, right?
Right.
We're catching up on all the things we've seen, all the things we like. It's like a cultural exchange program, because it's been like a year.
Right.
Since we caught up. They don't like a lot of the new, gritty, edgy reboot kind of stuff. Where the hero is stained in a way, like the anti-hero stuff.
Yeah.
My dad specifically, he was trying to describe it as before, you would have just straight up heroes, very clear who's good and who's evil. It's like black and white.
Yep.
Right? Over time, that became less interesting, so you had heroes who had a second, other side to them, like the beast within, like a Doctor.
Yeah, right.
Kind of thing, right? Now that's been thoroughly explored and examined. What is going on here?
Oh, the wind lifts are turning on, so all the floaty guys are getting...
you plug it back in. Okay. Radical, dude. Alright, I can get out of here.
Yeah. Now we can move on.
So what he was lamenting is the third iteration of that, which is some kind of darker beast. Instead of
going into something new, they're just transforming it into...
They're going harder into one direction for if not shock value, for it's treated as more realistic in a way, or
right.
Gritty. Kind of with Andor specifically, he doesn't like how he ends up no thought just gunning down other people.
Yeah.
Right?
So what does he want? That, I guess that's the question. What does your dad want out of a story? If he had his way, would we return to, clear good guys? And, untortured souls? Or is he looking for there to be something else?
Well, there is one movie franchise that he still adores.
Okay.
That he's patiently waiting for another installment of.
Okay.
He owns every single John Wick movie on Blu-ray. He's a fan of it. Because John Wick is a very straight-up character.
Right.
Who is constantly suffering, but isn't conflicted about what's the right thing to do.
Okay.
He knows... You know who the bad guys are.
Yep.
You know who the good guys are.
Yep.
He isn't excessively, he spares people.
Yep.
At times. He's very brutal and efficient in how he kills people, but he doesn't torture people.
Nor does he gloat. So your dad is looking for more movies where the protagonist is aggressive and brutal and efficient and everything, but
right, 'cause
but has
cool.
a conscience still.
Yeah. Same with Foxy, I think.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I kind of compared him to that sort of thing. Now, it's interesting to note, to me at least, that this concept does not work in reverse.
Oh, this is pretty.
Oh yeah, I know. This Skybot, I mean, this is... It is cool.
Yeah. What do you mean in reverse? Oh, Zap. Get out of here.
No, I mean, I can't. So what I mean is that... So when I was talking about how this... as villains don't do it for me, you know? Just because they aren't... they're not that interesting. Or no, excuse me, protagonists. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is not true of villains, in my opinion. I personally think that villains, you want to see that backstory, because with villains, with this, in the same way that heroes are, it's kind of with a protagonist, it's predetermined that they are protagonists, right?
Like, you wouldn't have a story otherwise.
You would not have a story otherwise,
like,
right?
You know that he's gonna do the thing.
He's going to do good things, correct, right? That's also true of villains.
Right.
But the thing about villains is that they're already villains right from the get-go. They've already gotten to the point that you're waiting for the hero to get to. But because their endpoint is always the same, and they're already there, the most interesting thing about a villain is that they...
Is the dissection of why.
Yeah, how...
Why are you like this?
How did you get there?
What is your thought process? What is your trauma that you're dealing with?
Precisely.
Because it's usually cut and dry why a good person does good things. Because it's the right
and it's
thing
not
to do.
always a cut and dry reason why a villain does bad things.
Right.
And the thing about this that always gets me, God, I gotta remember where do I get the bomb from, and how do I get it out here? Oh, I remember now. Okay, well, this is gonna...
This place is huge.
Yeah, it is. This is a lot more complicated of a temple. I should probably turn this on so I don't get shocked all the time.
Can you just avoid combat for the rest of the game because you can turn into a lizard?
You know, I don't actually recall if you can. So for example, this can go bad as well.
His run cycle's so fucking funny.
Yeah. This concept I think could go bad just as easily.
It's just less common to see.
Thanos is a great example of this not going right.
Explain.
Because Thanos, when you have a villain, you want your villain to be clearly a villain.
Or you feel bad when they get shit on.
Well, or the villain becomes too interesting.
Like, oh, in relation to the heroes.
In relation to the heroes, because when you have heroes that are, when you have focused on heroes being good, then what ends up happening is that because you're essentially telling that same story with the antagonist, you run into a problem where the antagonist's reason for being evil is far more interesting than the protagonist.
Is a deeper moral quandary.
Correct, because
the heroes deciding whether or not to save the. Of course, they're going to try.
You're essentially the reason that I have such a problem with Marvel movies. Is another reason is that essentially with both your heroes and your villains, you are telling the same story, right?
Just with polar opposite outcomes.
With polar opposite outcomes,
you're telling the character has.
You are telling different. You're telling the same story, but with polar opposite different outcomes. My God, I am so lost. I'm going to finish this discussion, then we're going to actually have to talk about the game, because I know where I need to go, but I can't remember how to get there.
Holy shit. Zap.
So what ends up happening is that you have characters like Thanos that have interesting moral quandaries that you're not able to explore, really. Oh, do I have to? I got mine.
Explore like on the hero side or the villain side?
The villain side, okay, so with Thanos, okay, what's the meme with Thanos?
That he was right.
Yeah, the meme is that Thanos is right? Why is it that after, 5 years now? Almost?
I don't want to think about how long it's been since Infinity War came out.
Right, well, the problem with Thanos is that 5 years on, he is still... Come on. Oh my god. Thank you. 5 years on, that meme is still funny and a thing, and people still talk about it.
That will never not be funny, I think.
And why is that? Because to a certain extent, you understand where he's coming from, and it's an interesting proposition to make that you've got a villain who's
trying to do a bad thing for a good reason.
For a good reason. You've created too good of a villain. You've created too good of a villain, where his end of the story is more interesting than the heroes, because while they do both have predetermined outcomes, it's more interesting to consider the villains, because the way the hero gets to that predetermined outcome is always the same, and the way the villain gets to that predetermined outcome is not always the same.
Are you saying those movies would be more interesting if it was mainly from Thanos' perspective?
I do.
I could see that.
I really, really do.
Because his journey, like his internal struggle,
right,
of choosing to do this.
It is one of my favorite character. This is another favorite character archetype of mine, which is the sacrificial lamb, of someone who decides to do terrible and awful things so that other people do not have to, so that other people are spared having to make those awful, terrible decisions. It is... Yes, we're moving along.
Aha, you finally... Progression.
Yeah.
Do these guys know you're a fake lizard?
Nope.
No, they're just fucking around. Okay.
Just chilling. No, that Thanos is a more interesting character. The reason why he is because it's a more interesting thought process. It's more engaging than what Thanos is a more engaging character than the heroes, right? Because he has something interesting to discuss and to consider. There, but for the grace of God, go I type situations.
Mm-hmm.
Is the gate dropped?
Is there another switch you need?
No.
It wouldn't be back down there, would it? No.
Hold, please. Is it?
You're trying to get to the middle platform somehow?
I'm trying... I have to get the bomb into this section. So I can throw it at that pillar.
Oh, the bomb from down there?
Isn't that supposed to open the gate? It didn't look like it was.
Yeah. Odd. Oh, you literally can't go back down.
Maybe try again. I don't know. It's just an annoying thing. The reason that characters like John Wick are interesting is because both they are not. There's no sacrificial lamb stuff going on, right? The villains are not apologetic, right? That's why they work with John Wick. I feel like if you're going to have a villain with some sort of sympathetic element to them, or, you know, something that makes them interesting. Oh, there it is. It is over there. You gotta jump. Jesus.
Oh, made it. Alright.
That it's... No one... It just seems to me like a lot of these movies are just following the line that they're supposed to, instead of doing what makes sense. Instead of considering
like
the archetypes that they're working with.
Like doing what's interesting in terms of, like, cinema. In terms of, like, eking out emotions from the audience.
It's
watching a story unfold and a character develop.
Yeah,
they're doing it by the...
It's so by the book that it's not interesting anymore.
Like, you can predict what a movie's gonna be
before you even see it. And that's why I think I still love games like this, because you get to see character archetypes and things that you're not seeing anymore. Villains are clearer.
Are you all right?
Or if they are...
My children.
If they are...
When I was
she's
captured,
talking
they
about her
became
kids.
Scared, and are now hiding around the fortress. Please, take this. Use it when you hear
the
them.
magic
Its call will guide them back to me. If the sharp claw find them, I fear they will leave the fortress forever.
Yeah, this is a timed mission.
Oh no.
As soon as you blow the first one.
You gotta race to find the rest of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's if you're gonna have like a Thanos villain, right? You have to be very careful that your antagonist doesn't outshine your protagonist. You have to make your protagonist just as interesting as your antagonist.
Because they have to match each other, or it's not...
Or you get more interested in something that makes no sense. Alright, we're gonna save kids now.
Alright. Oh, you're running out of time.
Yeah. I think it
They're
refills...
suffocating.
I think it refills every time
You catch
you find one.
Do you have to, like, run on, like, touch them?
No, you gotta get these guys out of here. Then they land.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I think the timer restarts every time you get close to one, I think.
Are you just going back through the thing in reverse? Oh, no.
That's not one of them.
Is it because they're in danger or something?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
essentially what
Like
you're
the
working
lizard
with.
guys are trying to catch them again?
Yeah.
The bar went away, though, so I think you're...
Yeah, because I got that one. I need to get back. There's one at the entrance. Just this way. There's 4 we've got to get. I don't know. You guys in the comments, let us know what you think about this, and like if you want to bring up any other points or something like that. Like, let me know, because I'm curious how other people see this sort of thing. Because
Do you think it's a preference thing, or do you think it's like better or worse for having certain kinds of characters?
It definitely is preference for sure, but it's not.
Like, it's not a bad thing that the characters are that way, but you do think something has been lost or changed over time.
Right, I think that's what superhero fatigue is.
They're mad that this kind of thing is no longer done generally, like usually.
Yeah, well, at least that's what I'm upset about, is that you don't get interesting characters. This is supposed to be one of them.
You have to, like, select the horn again, or no? You just blow it near them.
No, because they land and then you... Am I dumb? Okay, wouldn't be the first time. What am I missing here? Do you have to?
You gotta call Slippy and he'll tell you.
You know what? We're actually gonna call Slippy.
Slippy here? Got yourself stuck again?
If they get too scared, then they'll leave and you'll never find them. You didn't softlock yourself, did you?
No. I hope I didn't. No, because that... I think you just gotta find the next one. I don't care about this.
Jesus, I've seen this circle stair so many times. It's making me dizzy.
Yeah, well, I think I just gotta find the next one. Guess I really effed up. Or is it you gotta return to her every single time?
Is that? I hope it's not every single time.
It shouldn't be every single time.
That'd be really annoying back and forth. Do you have to talk to him?
Oh, I guess it wanted me to do it again? Yeah, okay, it wanted me to do it again. Yeah, okay.
That was kind of finicky.
That's strange. Okay.
Alright.
I guess I played the flute when he wasn't.
You weren't close enough?
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, next episode, we'll continue to save Queen Cloud Runner's kids. And then we should be close to done with this dungeon, actually, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. Kind of scatterbrained, I know, but
So we got through it.
we got through it. I just, end of the day, I prefer certain characters, and I don't like others because I think they're boring as sin. And Fox McCloud is one of the ones I like, so that's why this game doesn't bother me as much as it bothers most people. I think characters and consistent characters are way more important than the settings that they're in. Peace.
Peace.